Hello everybody, this is Bitcoin Macro, and on this video I'm going to be talking about VeChain. VeChain is not a new project, it's a pretty old one. It's one of the older blockchains out there, and it's one of the largest ones with quite a big following, quite a lot of big backers, and it's a project that I've heard a lot of people talk about, and I've heard many good things about it. Now, I'm going to start by saying that like many other blockchains and many other projects, these are just startups, because if you look at this is pretty decentralized at the moment, and they are actually explicitly saying that they prefer to be more centralized. So essentially this is not a decentralized blockchain or a project, it's more like a distributed ledger. So they use proof of authority, and the VeChain Foundation is essentially the one which decides who is going to do what. Clearly the governance model is a bit trickier because there are the VeChain holders, they do take some of the decisions, but however they are not the only ones that take those decisions, and that has to be very, very clear, because it's a pretty tricky thing, because it's quite complex, and I would urge everyone to read this stuff. If you prefer centralized blockchains, that's fine, centralized tokens. If you don't, you have to be aware that this is not a project for you. Now, I'm a guy that usually mostly focuses on the narratives and the cycles and the TA. So for me, like, as long as something is solid and I do know that there is something going on there, and there are people that like the stuff that are going there, that there are real companies behind it, regardless of if it fails or not, until it kind of fails, let's say, I do know that this could have a pretty big impact on the price. So again, I usually mostly focus on the cycles, but I do see a potential in this token, which has already gone up significantly. It's already up 13x against Bitcoin since late 2019, because it had a nice bottom right here. And the reason that you see this chart, guys, is that I took the fractal, I essentially copied the price from down here after, because this was not a crash, this was just a token split. They created more units, so they created more and more units, and then that dropped the price. So Coin Paprika is the only one I could find which at least starts from August 2017, so clearly not like a project before 2016-15, like it started before 2016. However, the price, the token, the blockchain launched much later. I don't even think that was a blockchain. I think that was probably an era where that was a token on Ethereum or something else, and then it turned into the actual blockchain. And this is actually what it really looks like, because I kind of try to estimate and just project the logarithmic chart onto this thing, so that you could guys see a better representation of where the price of the token is. And clearly it's one of the best performers from the old coins. And one of the projects that is comparable to this at this stage is Solana. However, Solana is a newer project, so VeChain is one of the best performers and larger blockchains at this stage, given how it's been moving. So it had a big bump, massive drop, nice sideways movement here, while slowly making lower highs right here. As you can see, the highs are slightly lower. It's kind of like a bit of a double bottom, a triple bottom, depending on how you want to see it, and then boom, higher. Clearly I'm going to zoom in soon on other charts so that you can see short term what it's looking like, but this is what I wanted you guys to see. So maybe it's probably a bit less, because I can't remember what the token split was exactly like. So maybe it's around here, because it came all the way up here and now it dropped around 432 satoshis. But again, it's just not an easy way for me to see where the split happened and all that stuff. But what really matters to me is that it had a full cycle, full big drop down here. Like from this high all the way down here was 88%. So you can imagine that from here all the way down it was a lot more, and from here up to here it was about 13x from this point right here. So full cycle, quick bump, nice retrace, sideways movement, and it's just a typical cyclical stuff against Bitcoin. And that's why I always say Bitcoin pairs matter more, because once pairs come back down here or they capitulate a bit further, we do know that they are really, really cheap and they are kind of worth buying. Of course, if there is any fundamental reason to do so as well. So if the fundamentals of the token are not great, maybe inflation is too high, maybe people just don't care, maybe they are not listed on any exchanges and they don't plan to get any further listings. These are things that we need to consider. However, this thing is looking good. Like, it has pumped a lot, so I'm not gonna say step in now, but I do believe that it could have more potential. Now, if we look at the short-term chart, like yesterday we had that big drop and then the big bounce. So I wouldn't be surprised if we come a bit down here and then move higher, because it did kind of go a little parabolic. I don't really like this action. Boom, it's just too volatile, and sometimes this is how tops are being formed. However, it just doesn't really seem as toppy as other coins look right now. Again, it's mostly like it's moved a lot, so if you take some profits here, I wouldn't think that that's a bad choice. Now, from here, look at how nicely this came higher from here. It took quite some time, and that's since the Binance USDT pair was launched. Clearly, VeChain was trading before that, and that's why I'm saying I don't really want to watch just a specific exchange, because it usually misses a lot of data points. Really nice sideways movement here, massive capitulation, massive accumulation, slowly came back above, boom, then retest right here, right at that level, right there. Continuation, and that's where the parabolic move has started. So I wouldn't be surprised if it goes sideways a bit, but I don't really believe that the top is in yet. So VeChain could be one of the projects that goes higher from here, at least in Bitcoin terms. Now in USD terms, I don't know what's going to happen right now, because Bitcoin might correct, it might not correct. I'm waiting for, let's say, potentially 52 or 53 or 54,000 to hold, for reasons I've explained on my previous videos. So if you want, just go back and watch the videos about the Bitcoin correction, because I think it's going to be very useful for you to get a better grasp of what the market does. I understand that these things sell a bit more, but I would urge you guys to go and read and study more quality stuff rather than just simple price analysis. And finally, the other thing I wanted to show you guys is if I just put the VeChain USD chart. So you see, like right here, you wouldn't be able to see anything, because the price right now is potentially maybe here, because I can't even remember what the split was like, if it was 500 to 1, 1000 to 1, 10 to 1. It really depends. So right now the project would have been much higher. And if I just look at the daily, this doesn't look bad. Okay, it's just like a normal correction right here, and it could continue much higher. It's just like the volatility has been so large that, you know, sometimes markets do need to take a bit of a break. And that's why I do think that, you know, maybe you can look at the market cap. That would be a better representation. Excuse me, that was VeChain market cap. I don't know if they had the market cap prior to this, but for example, look at this now. It's clearly at a higher market cap than what it was in 2018. That's a pretty big difference, guys. I don't know if there were like any unlocks, like the Steam selling tokens and all that stuff, but it's already 400% higher than it was back then. So again, that wouldn't be surprising if it tops right here, or at least it goes sideways for a bit. We do need to be aware of market cap, because right now VeChain is about $15 billion, $16 billion, which is a significant market cap, given that it's probably about 1% the size of Bitcoin's market cap. So that's it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you liked the video. Please like and subscribe. If you want to see the whole chart, probably use this one, the market cap, rather than the actual price. Again, both price and market cap do matter. Clearly on market cap, you cannot do perfect TA, because sometimes there are some little spikes because of unlocks and stuff like that. Maybe you can see that on Solana since the unlock. But again, this is probably the only way to watch a full chart of VeChain, because on just purely BTC or USD pairs, you don't get the full picture. So once again, thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.